my higher self says that we have 4 genetics. We have a human genetic, we have a devic genetic, which means that we are the same as the blue-green algae. The blue-green algae was the very first living force on this planet, etc. Then we have the angelic DNA because they are our cousins. And then we have the galactic DNA because we're part of a galaxy. Every person has those 4 genetics. Those are just matrix. They're just a structure. And it's how we become aware of these things and how we use these gifts in our life. And as we grow along, you know, from the moment you're born to the moment that you pass from your body, you are ever evolving.
Yes, hello today. I'm so honored and I'm so excited to have a woman with me who has been given the name Mahatma. And I never had before a person besides Mahatma Gandhi, which I knew this title. And so she is Mahatma Griscom. Very welcome, Mahatma Griscom. I love that you're here.
Beata, I'm delighted to be with you, and let us begin with me saying how much I honor and how incredible it is that you are giving this gift to the world. And I am very happy today to be a part of it.
Oh, that's such a joy. I can't explain, so I have no words. You are doing such a great work since now 66 years, and I just talked with you that I met you in Germany in my early 30s, and so this is a long time ago, and we meet here, and during these all years you have been I think you have been gifted with a lot of gifts, and you have been gifted a lot in international awards. So if you don't mind, I just want to share with the audience a couple of your rewards. Is it okay for you?
Okay.
So you got the International Swami Vivekanand World Peace Award, which was represented to you in Rajasthan in India. And this was for the inspiration on global peace and global peace. And you have been given as well and recognized 5 times by the Indian Board of Alternative Medicines based in Calcutta in India. And this Indian board awards you as well with the Seva Chakra Award, which as well has been given to Mother Teresa and as well, I think, the Dalai Lama. So you are such an incredible soul. You're doing so much for the world, for the animals, the earth, and the humans as well. So how did you start? Because 66 years in teaching is a long time. So how did you start? And then we jump into your work today.
Okay, I don't want to spend too much time on me because it's really important to recognize that Mahatma means great soul. And from my perspective, all of us who are on this planet at this time are great souls. It's not our first time. No matter what role we're playing, on a soul level, on a spiritual, on a divine, lighted level, we have come with great purpose, and we need to remember that. But I began when I was, well, let me just say that I don't know if we ever begin something. We do carry it with us for many lifetimes. I had my first death experience when I was born. And so I had that recognition of choice to come or not, you know. And then when I was 14 and a half, I had the grace of being tutored by a wonderful psychic spiritual being who taught me incarnational work. And at that point, I really began to realize or see all of my own experiences, the kinds that all of us have as children, where we see across the veil, you know, and I realized that it had meaning. And even if people didn't verify for that for me when I was a child, I saw how it gifted me a bigger perspective of what's in play and how it all fits together. So I always had that recognition that we are so much more than we remember that we are. And so my work began at 14 and a half, helping people to remember who we are and to release from ourselves imprints in this lifetime and other incarnations of the soul, imprints that do not serve that capacity of evolution, because that's what we're doing here. It's a personal evolution, it's a planetary evolution, it's a cosmic evolution. There's a streaming of energy that never ends. Yeah. That's why.
Yeah, it's so wonderful. Yeah, when you started with the reincarnation work you did, it was very, very rare, and people didn't believe in it. So
yes.
How did you get the strength to move forward? Because I think you have experienced as well a lot of, oh no, I don't want that.
Yeah, but you know, I always understood, we have an expression at the Light Institute, to pierce the heart. And that means to actually see who someone is, you know, to see beyond the mask. And what I would do with that is, first of all, with incarnational work, I would always say, you don't have to believe in it, but it's your story, many stories of yours, and they are fascinating. And if you allow yourself to remember these stories, it will change your life, which it does. And so I never got caught in, you don't believe in it and you don't want it, but it's about you. It's not about me. It's not about anything but you and your purpose, and actually the being that you are that you've forgotten. And so it's always been easy. I've never been caught in, you know, the argument, the separation, or the, you know, we have this concept here of polarity. I never saw it because I've always seen that polarity is always connected. Just as I said in the beginning of my books, the victim and the victimizer are one. We are all playing together. We are all linked up. And in several of my books, I talk about how no one out of the 8 billion souls on this planet, human souls, is further away from you than your 44th, and some scientists say your 46th cousin. So that means that all races, it means that you are connected. We are all connected. And when we see that, then for me, when I work with people, whether it's a big group or personally, I recognize that, and that's what I mirror. I mirror that we have a place where we can recognize each other, and that's a great place to begin to explore the self. Yeah,
it's wonderful. Yeah, recognizing each other is so important, or recognizing yourself. First step. So yeah. I'm meeting so many people who are feeling like slave, you know, and they say, oh, it's all kismet, I can't change it. And so they get tight and stuck with their own belief systems. So
that's correct.
How do you deal with that? I think people come to you as well with, oh, I can't.
Yes, but and everyone is, I've never had somebody come to the Light Institute who didn't have an experience of looking at many lifetimes. And again, I never bother with what you want to call it. What I tell people is, we scientifically, and I just wrote a book called Potential Body, Helix of Enlightened Health. And I'm talking in there about the power of imagination that Einstein and others talked about so much, Jung and all of these great beings, that you can't make up something you don't have a reference to. You may have read it in a book. And my answer to that would be, and so your higher self made sure that you read that book to stimulate a point of reference for you. And there's a message there. You see, all of us look at our lives in terms of the content. This happened to me and that's happening. And we don't get past that. At the Light Institute, what we are looking at is, what is the theme? And we have an expression at the Light Institute, which is, what is the gift? So that if you have a terrible experience, if you want to free yourself of that, you have to begin to see how it's a part of your evolution. You're not stuck with it. It's probably an echo of some past experience in which is usually the case with people. We're blaming ourselves for things we can't remember. We're blaming ourselves for things we've taken on from our forefathers psychogenetically. And so we play small. And so what I'm doing is helping people to see that they have a bigger story and that they have a purpose. And that purpose doesn't have to be just, am I doing something important in the world? But you are present. My higher self said a long time ago, what you need to do is breathe and exhale. That's why you're here. What you're exhaling is your consciousness. And that once you realize that your presence makes a difference, you could smile at a stranger. You could start a benign conversation with somebody, and you never know whether your smile, your touch, your voice at that moment could change somebody's day. So my life is about you and the world.
Yeah,
that's it in a nutshell. You and the world.
Yeah. Wow, wonderful. Yeah. And you were talking once in a speech. I can remember that you said we always have two kinds of vision, so maybe our own vision, or maybe the vision we want something to achieve, or is it the inner drawing? How do you explain that?
Oh, Beata, you said that so well. Well, when I have no idea what I was talking about at that time, but what I would say is there's a difference between looking out at the world or even looking at yourself. That looking is kind of a structured thing. But when you are seeing, that's why people are called seers. When you are seeing, then you have the capacity to see. And I hate to use the word truth, because my higher self says, and I agree, that truth is what we experience. There is not one pure truth. We can't prove anything, but truth is what you experience. And so it changes as you evolve. And so when you're seeing, whether you're seeing inside you or you're seeing outside you, you're seeing a hologram. You're seeing the connection. You're seeing something that may be multidimensional. And that kind of seeing helps you to find your place. It helps you to have compassion. If you look at someone and you say, oh, that person is a drug person, or that person is whatever you want to judge them about. But if you could see them, you would see part of why they are playing that role. And it's very interesting to me to bring forth a little message to all of your viewers. And that is that right now, there are a lot of people on the planet that are playing the bad guys. Mm-hmm. Their souls, there's no question. They don't love humanity. They don't care about others. They're destructive. They're negative. They're powerful and horrible from the outside. But are they there to mirror for us that we are not that, or that we could heal that, or we could find that in ourselves? My higher self always says, whatever you see on the outside, whatever you have awareness of, you can't have, again, that awareness unless you have a repertoire of it yourself. And so once we play with that, then judgment falls away, and we begin to see the purpose of that. When we move from our separation, from our fear of each other, from all of the survival energies, that's when we will see how others have helped us, because they're really our soul friends. And they have helped us. That doesn't mean we can't, with our consciousness, begin to move them aside so we can step forward. Yeah, well, that we can do. That's seeing.
Yeah, that's seeing. So is this, so we are in a shift right now. So we are in a,
yes, we are.
Stage. People saying from the third dimension, from the matrix to the fifth dimension, and there are so many rumors going on how this will be. Is there a new earth and stuff like that? So why do you think, why are we now in this situation and in this shift? So what's happening right now on planet Earth and with us?
Oh, that's a wonderful opportunity to converse about that. But first of all, let me say that the reason that people are clinging to, is there a fifth dimension, or can we get there? Can we be enlightened? And from my perspective, the fifth dimension is something that we all had when we were born. So it's not really a big deal. There are lots of dimensions and lots of galaxies and universes. But people are focused on that because they're not focused on their purpose. Your purpose is not the future. Your purpose is right now. And so what my higher self has shown me, which I'm quite sure is accurate, is that all of, up until this point in the evolution of humans, for example, our focus has been to survive. Sometimes we've had many gods that we could pray to. Please help us, fix it for us. Because again, we had a sort of density of consciousness, which was all about survival. We are at a point right now where survival is not the conversation, and yet it is, because my higher self says that Gaia will go on, but the two-leggeds, maybe not. It depends on what we do. But what's happening on the planet right now is the sum total of how we have engineered our evolution, how we have played our parts pretty negatively with the earth itself, with Gaia, with each other, etc. All of the blood and the slaughter and the inhumane energetics of, I have to survive. Why do you have to survive? Because you don't realize that you are beyond your body. Your body is just a coat that you're wearing, and you had many, many, many of these coats. And so what's coming up, and if you look at it historically, for example, in the Near East, in the Middle East, and all around the world, you will see the echo of how religions began, of how we killed each other in the name of God, how we said, no, my tribe against your tribe, my God against your tribe, I will take over your space. We have not, even till now, we have not had a concept that said, us together, that together we can create a new world. That world waits for us. That world could look at like 1,000 different kinds of worlds. It doesn't matter if there's another world besides this one that's like ours. No, it's not about escape. It's about using your life now, knowing that you've had many, many lives, and that what I am hoping is that we will learn to use our bodies as the vehicle of the soul. Instead of this thing, that we will stop dying in disease, which is violent to your vehicle. We will stop dying in accident, which has to do with synergy. Why are you there at that moment? And why will we die of old age since our genetic capacity is 120? And the average death right now is in the late 70s. So we have a lot to become conscious of and to shift. And so what we're seeing on the planet are repetitions and coming up. That's why great seers have said this is the time of fire, that the volcanoes, that all of these energies are erupting. The earth is shaking. The earth is erupting. And we have a part in that. I learned this from especially the Hopis, who 4,000 years ago, and even beyond that, talked about how many times humans have come onto this earth plane, and who have been able to call the rain or call the sun or engage. And this is true in Europe as well. You have a great history of that in Europe, where the shamans or people who were seers could participate on an energetic level with the Devic kingdom. Of course, they mostly got burned at the stake for that. But that there has always been within us a repertoire of how to move beyond, again, the looking, beyond the limitation of I'm just a person in a body, I'm a human. But do you hold humanity? Do you know how to wield a human energy gift into the world? And that's what's important. So what I want to say is, this too shall pass. The more that we say, oh, look at this. We called others the infidels and slaughtered them. And now they're calling us the infidels and slaughtering us. There's a repetition in there. We could stop that. We could stop that. And we must. And we must do that by reaching across the abyss and as humans and seeing each other from a perspective of divinity, of cosmic. I shouldn't even use the word divinity because it always sounds like religions. But from a cosmic, an essence, a spiritual energy. And when we do that, we will realize that what's happening on the planet right now is waiting for us to step forward and to participate and on higher levels. And we will. I know we will.
Yeah, it's as well. I always use the word infinity being. So I'm an infinite being, and
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
And this has as well nothing to do with religion. It's just like it is for me. So, and
it has nothing to. And it has nothing to do with time either. Look at you. It has nothing to do with time. You know, my first book was Time is an Illusion.
Yeah.
Exactly. That when you think of yourself as an infinite being, then by having a consciousness of that, you can easily move across the veils. You can easily access not only incarnations in human form, but incarnations of cosmic forms. We have incarnated. I think there's a law of energy, of cosmic energy, that came to me on one of my 6 near-death experiences. And that had to do with the fact that the soul, it doesn't just, this isn't the, we are not the apex of evolution here. There are many, many civilizations, cosmic consciousness and realities beyond our human self. And we have incarnated in many different forms, not just human. And once we recognize that we have that expansion, that infinity, that moves, again, the past and the present construct the future, but the future is already, time is in this kind of an arc that the past and the future come together in the present. And that's why doing incarnational work for me, and I never call it past lives because it's not past. You are here with the people you've been with before. You are here with themes that you've been working on before. And you will work on those themes all the way around the circle, being the bad guy, the good guy, the healer, the killer, the wisdom keeper, the person that has no consciousness. You will play them all. And then at some point when you've played that theme around, there will be the emphasis and there will be the spiraling up of the evolution. And that's why I still find after 66 years that incarnational work is essential to coming to know the self and to know your place in the world.
Yeah, this was as well my question. How important is this work? Is this still so important that we just raise our consciousness and that we can look better ourselves into our own mirror So to understand what we are going through and everything. So you are still doing this work in the Light Institute or in the Nizoni Institute still?
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course. And more than ever before, this work is important because right now the world is full of people who are saying, what's my purpose? Why am I here? Am I worthy? Do I have anything to give? You have everything to give. And so again, expanding your sense of self. And that includes both sides of that. That includes discovering that you are a great being, that you are a Mahatma, and also that you have experiences of blaming yourself for past misuse of power. So many themes that are there that you can release. That's the point. It's not just looking, oh, what was I in some other lifetime? No, no, no. It was, again, what was I doing and how is that influencing me now? And the limitation I place upon myself and how I see the world. And so this work is more important than it's ever been before. And that's why after 66 years, I'm still fascinating, because you could be working on some great person, you know, who is visible in the world, or you could be working on a person who has a drug problem or some other terrible, unspeakable, whatever. And you don't know who they are. You cannot imagine who they are. And so that is the gift of never feeling that you have to judge or put somebody in a box and say, oh, this person is this, and that's who they are. No, no, no. Even the bad guys that we have roaming around, the powerful bad guys that we have roaming around the planet, we don't know who they are. And we can harvest their presence. And that's what I'm talking about. What I mean by harvesting their presence is by seeing again what's missing there and helping to through your consciousness offer that. Because I would say that one of the well, there are two words for me that are very, very important. One is responsibility. That for me, responsibility, the power to take responsibility, it's such a gift. We accrue power in many lifetimes. And even if you misused it, you can't get rid of it. It'll come back to you again and again. And it'll come back to you as a potential, as something that you can use better and better in each lifetime. And the second one is one that I truly love. And that is, well, and responsibility connects with choice. We have those choices. But the one that I really love is seeding. And seeding means that you use your awareness, you use your consciousness to always perceive an energy that is evolutionary, that allows us to go forward. We cannot be stuck where we are now. We cannot be stuck with survival. We cannot be stuck with who are the good guys and the bad guys. We must collect ourselves and practice learning how to communicate with each other, how to harvest the gifts that each person has so that we can go forward. And so seeding for me is about extending out, and this is so much part of my work and our work, is to seed, as we were dropping a seed, a potential out that someone become aware of themselves, not about you, but in themselves, you know, and that seed could grow and help to guide the choices they make, the pathway that they take in their own evolution, and therefore the evolution of all of us, because we are interwoven. There is no one on this planet that you do not know on a spiritual level. I know that's a very hard concept, but it is true. And so we place so much focus on who is my partner and who is my beloved and who is my enemy. And all of that is a very small perspective of reality because they've all played all those roles for you and you played all those roles for them. But what's interesting is who have you drawn into your life that will help you evolve one way or another, and to evolve into a collective kind of energy, a consciousness that taps into. Because when we are children, all children, by the time they're 3, they know exactly what's going on with their parents. Exactly. They can hear their thoughts. They read their minds. They see their gestures. They know all of it. And that's why it's pretty hard to beat a 2 or a 3-year-old. And so, and then we lose that. We lose that because nobody helps us to evolve that. And that's why I created the Nijoni School for Global Consciousness, is that we need to, and especially today, Beata, these beings coming in, they are a different species. They really are. They're a galactic. You know, my higher self says that we have 4 genetics. We have a human genetic. We have a devic genetic, which means that we are the same as the blue-green algae. The blue-green algae was the very first living force on this planet, etc. Then we have the angelic DNA because they are our cousins. And then we have the galactic DNA because we're part of a galaxy. Every person has those 4 genetics. Those are just matrix. They're just a structure. And it's how we become aware of these things and how we use these gifts in our life. And as we grow along, you know, from the moment you're born to the moment that you pass from your body, you are ever evolving. And what I've learned from my death experiences is that when you cross the veil, the consciousness is still there. You just drop this. You just drop the personality. You drop the name. You drop whatever that is. That's not there, but the soul is. Not the spirit, but the soul is there. And that soul is, as you said, infinite.
Yeah, wonderful. So I have as well, I have the belief that when I work with my own patterns, or when I help people to release their patterns or belief system, that we are giving a contribution to all of us. So
of course,
this is something that our whole consciousness can raise, or the planet can raise. How do you see that?
Absolutely. That each person is the apex of their pyramid. You know, you may have partners or children or parents or colleagues, but in your presence, you are the apex of that. What happens to you happens to them. And that's why one of the teachings that my higher self gave to me is, the more powerful you are, the more powerful I can be. And so when I mirror for you, and I help you to contact and to be able to wield your own power in a more expanded way, that's going to ripple out. Every thought you have ripples out. These are energetic laws. And that's why also my work is very much devoted to the direction of energy. We want to pull from the cosmos into us the brightest white light, because light is, everything is made of light. Everything, the rocks, the tables, the beings, everything is made of light. So we draw that high white light down through the top of our head and into our solar plexus. This is the center of our emotional body. And when we bring that white light there and then we laser it out into the world, it stretches out our presence. It helps us to again realize that, what is your purpose? Your purpose is to take all that you are and bring it through you and extend it out into the world, so that others can find in themselves energies. For example, Beata, you are a template. You are a template to all of those that you're helping to change their belief system. I had a 16-year divinity school. We never used the word belief. Because belief always catches us in our minds. It always catches us into what our religions or our parents or our cultures told us is true. Truth is ever evolving, you know. So you are a template for that. And you wouldn't have to do anything. You know, my higher self always said to me, you can just go sit in the corner and use your consciousness, and it will change the world. Because what you put out ripples out through the ethers, and people pick it up. And you don't need to worry about, do they get it or they don't get it, or do they agree with you or they don't agree with you. It's irrelevant. It's energies that each person uses according to their own specific karma. And let me say, talking about all these awards and so forth and so on, that it's a little giggle for me that this word came from a very advanced civilization in India, karma. But we have not understood it. And so we get caught in it, because karma is not good or evil. It's not any of that. It's simply action and reaction, cause and effect. So everything we think, everything we do creates a ripple. And that ripple will access, it'll flow to someone who relates to that or doesn't relate to that. And so there's this evolutionary push that's going on the planet right now, which is why we're all dealing with the small stuff or the big stuff. We're dealing with life and death right now. We're dealing with sickness. We're dealing with purpose. We're dealing with relationship, and power. And these are the themes that are so important. And these are the themes that come right up when you do incarnational work. Your higher self, it's never me, it's always your own higher self, your own inner voice, your own soul's energy that will show you the lifetimes that relate to what's going on now. And one of the important things that we do there is to get rid of the lifetime. Maybe you were a great healer or a great being or a powerful leader or whatever. We want to release the content of that. We want to release that lifetime, that incarnation of the soul, so that the energy of it, as you well know, Beata. Yeah. So, and the energy of it cannot help but come right back to you, because you accrued it, you experienced it. And so it will come back to you. And that's what changes your lives.
Yeah. Yeah, so you are doing special work in the Nizoni and Light Institute. So you call it as well the intensives. So you have special days. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I'd love to. And what I would say is that, of course, you can always work individually, just with a facilitator on your own themes. But when we have intensives, and the themes of intensives are always with me, although you do your work privately always in an intensive, but you have group conversations with me. And for the last 2 years, last year and this year, instead of doing particular themes, except last year we did one theme in Greece, which was about we galactics, because I'm finding that we so much need to realize that we're part of a galaxy and what that actually means and what it offers us. But really, what we're doing right now is taking your personal themes at an intensive, working with them, but tying them into you as a global being. So what we're seeding in you is a sense that you are a part of this global arena, what's happening on the planet. And that this frees you from so much and not seeing the bigger picture and being caught in just your daily life. Because you may have a daily life that's very involved, and you get up, you take care of your family, you go to work, you come home, you take care of your family, whatever, and it seems like it's very mundane to you. But the missing ingredient is how you use your consciousness for everything that comes forth from you. Maybe you're cooking a meal, or you're cleaning up, whether you're a male or a female, And if you do that with resentment, or, this is what my life is, it's so small, it's unimportant. No. If you place your consciousness, when I'm cooking a meal, I'm healing others. I'm putting into others the possibility of health, that their bodies can digest it. And if I'm doing dishes, I'm making beauty. I'm making things clean and clear. If I'm going to work, and so this is so true. So many people feel that their work is beneath them, that that they just do very boring work. No. First of all, most people spend more time at work than they do with their families. So the people that you're working with are very important karmically to you. And if every day before you got there, you sent light to them, if every day you see how you can influence the relationships, how you can help them to do a better job. When people are sick and they maybe they have to go to the hospital, or they have to have somebody work on them, I always say, send light to that person or that group of people, that they do their very best creative work with you. Because we are at a time on this planet, we're not at the time of the leaders, we're not at the time of the followers, we're at the time, and we're not the time when somebody else is going to fix it for us. We're at the time where we have to come to recognize the choice of coming in at this time, whether you're a baby or you're an elder. You are on the planet at this time, and those that have completed their work, they have left. And that's why we're seeing, COVID and all of these diseases. It's not because, they're the bad guys that are getting us, but they are showing us, when are you going to say you're your own healer? One of the things that I talk about in my new book, Potential Body, is that we are made of light and we're made of frequencies, which is what you are giving and talking about energy work. And the normal frequency for a human is 62 to 72 megahertz. If you keep your megahertz at that rate, a virus like COVID can't get into you. And so, and now I know a number of wonderful healers who got COVID, but I promise you that at the moment that they got COVID, their actual energy in their body dropped down below 62. At 59 megahertz, viruses and bacteria and parasites can enter the body. And so what happens is that maybe if you're doing healing work and you got COVID, it's not just because this bug got you. It's because maybe you were being very sympathetic to somebody you were working on. And so you dropped your frequency to their level, and suddenly you got it. That's how I talk about communicable diseases. Yeah. Because, for example, people say, oh, it's your genetics. No. And I love the fact that I've been saying this for years, and suddenly science is saying, well, it's not really about your genes. What I know is that the genes are just the genetic patterning that you got psychogenetically from those around you. In other words, your belief systems, what you see as real, is something that you took in from others. Yeah. All of us are sitting in our mother's womb, sucking up from her blood all of her feelings, all of her energies, getting psychically from our fathers all of their thoughts and feelings. And so sometimes that's a very normal pattern. We never really get out of sucking from the world around us, instead of, again, lasering out to the world around us. Mm-hmm. And that makes the difference. That makes the difference. And so it's really a time when we want to stop saying, well, my life is boring and I'm not important. No, you're very important. You're a grain of sand, but without that grain of sand, there would be no beach. Mm-hmm. There would be no ocean, And so we have to begin to explore, again, the gifts that we have, which are not about what we're doing. They're not about any of those things. They're about the consciousness that we carry. Yeah. And that's what we do at the Light Institute. It's about moving consciousness, expanding consciousness. My whole work is about consciousness, mm-hmm. And directions of energies. And that's what gives us purpose and hopefully joy. Can you imagine that in this world today, people have lost the capacity to be happy because they're so caught up in the terrible things that are happening? Mm-hmm. But if you can direct your consciousness, as you did as a child, to seeing beauty or happiness or wonderment, then you will help to create a new world. You cannot create a new world by being overwhelmed by the unspeakables and the darkness. You cannot. You have to shine the light. You have to be yourself a template, and realize that it's not the time of who's got the power. It's the time of, shall we use our power together? Mm-hmm. Shall we?
Yeah, mm-hmm. That's it. Shall we? Yeah,
shall we?
many people get caught in, business versus consciousness. So they are splitting. And my intention during the past 30 years was already to say there is no split. So everything we do is interconnected. So as well, business is not good, not bad. It's something we evolve as well.
And I love that you say that, because when I was very young, when I first began to look at, how can we heal these things, these impossible, how can we participate? My higher self always said, first of all, that it would come from the private sector, which, really is business. And the more that we can, and here's where consciousness, every very wealthy business person I've ever known, they're all conscious. They all use their conscious, they use their intuition. They have stepped over, they've jumped over that abyss of, I have to get more for myself. And they realize that, no, the more I have, the more I want to give. Not that I have to give, but the more I want to give to make you powerful and to make you successful. There are Native American tribes that every year at a certain time of their own festivals, the family or whomever has accrued the most money, the more success in their business, because that's how they get their money, usually, they have what they call the Great Giveaway. And it is an incredible honor to be the ones to give it all away. Wow. Give it away to everyone else. And it's not, I'm giving to the less fortunate. It's not self-righteousness. It's, I'm giving so that everyone can be like me, that all of us can be wealthy, that everyone can use what we have to create more and then give it away, so it's that ripple out. And so, all around the world, there's a lot of misunderstanding about money. That money is somehow, if you have money, you must have done something selfish to get it. You must have climbed over somebody to get it, rather than you psychically, karmically have synchronistically have been in the right place at the right time to accrue this kind of money power, and that the consciousness level, the evolution of that, is to see how you wield that in a way that helps others to become successful, so that there is not that illusion that consciousness is somehow something that's only about spiritual people who are hiding in their caves. No, I love to work with very wealthy people, and it doesn't matter to me whether you're a drunkard or a guy on the street, or you're the very powerful one, because you're both intersecting. And so it behooves those who are successful at business to use their consciousness to contemplate, how can I help others, whether it's an individual or a group or a whole country, to find the way to also be successful, to also come to be the givers. My higher self always said, the giver has the power. But what we don't realize is that there is no one that doesn't have the gift of giving. No one. We give our love, we give our smiles, we give our wisdom, we give our bodies, we always have the opportunity to give. We just have to know that giving has nothing to do with whether we're wealthy or not. But the more wealthy we all are, the more that we have to give to others, because money is a way that is been connected to survival, but it's not about survival. It's about the leap to the power of the giver.
Yeah. Wow. Wonderful.
So I'm glad you worked with that. That's super. Yeah, super.
Yeah. I have a post-it here in German. It says, where can I help that the life for the others will become easier? This is my post-it here.
Oh, isn't that great? I'm sure you have a wonderful answer to that. And if you're asking me how I would answer that, yeah. I would say at the Light Institute, we have a patterning which we call exercises in consciousness. And so and this takes away, I can't, I would if I could, but I can't kind of conversation. No, everybody can, and you can teach your children to do this. So, and let's just do this little exercise right now, okay?
Yeah.
Let's close our eyes for a moment so that we're looking inside. We're having that inner vision. Yeah. And bring into your mind's eye, and you can ask your own inner voice, your higher self, to whom you want to connect with right now in terms of this exercises in consciousness. Who needs your help in finding the way through whatever is happening to them, to be more successful, to be more healthy, to be more peaceful, to have whatever they need, whatever it is. Bring them into your mind's eye. It might be all 8 billion people on the planet. It might be one person. Just take a deep breath and say, who belongs to me to work on right now? And bring them into your mind's eye. And now, because light is the what brings consciousness into form, and it is the cosmic focal point or capacity to communicate, ask them what frequency of light, what color they need from you to find what they need to move forward, to be in the right place at the right time, to have whatever it is, to go on. And asking them, because it's from you, because you are connected to them, which is why you got that posted. And let them show you the color. You might hear the color or see it or feel that texture of that color and the tone of that color. So see what color they show to you that you need to give to them. And whatever color comes into your consciousness, imagine that you could reach up into the cosmos and pull down exactly that beam of light, that color, through you. You are the vehicle. You are the one that gives the seeding. So draw that color down through the top of your head, down into your stomach, your solar plexus. And from there, laser that color out to them. They will take it in because they asked for it. It's a language. Every color gives a story. So draw it in, laser it out to them, and become aware of where they take it into their bodies and what happens. They could smile, they could get bigger, they could dissolve away, they could come forward, they could change form. Just continue to draw the light down and laser it out to them, giving them and giving them and giving them. It doesn't come from you. There's no end to it. It's infinite. And just feel it coming in and flowing until you feel that that's enough. The shift has occurred. They have what they need from you. And take a deep breath and open your eyes. And as you open your eyes, notice how it gives you a kind of sense of light, of kind of happiness. It uplifts you to give this because you're accessing the cosmos and you're fulfilling a part of your destiny. So Beate, I'll ask you the color. What was the color that they asked for from you?
They asked me for blue, the blue color.
Good. And what kind of blue was it, Beate?
It was like a shining blue, not a deep ocean blue. It was a lighter blue, in between heaven and the sea. Something like like a ball, yeah.
Yes, fantastic. So blue is the color of relationship, and that's why you're working with them, because you can be that template and give to them. You have so much to give because you have access to energy. So blue is the color of relationship and spirit. And the fact that your blue was that sparkling, that shiny blue, that's a galactic frequency. And so it says that there is that illumination that comes from that color. So as you extend that blue to them, you are passing to them consciousness. You're passing to them that clarity of consciousness. And at the same time, the connectedness that all humans, we are a group animal, and we seek that belonging. And so all at once, in a simple poof that you gave that to them, you have passed on, you have given again that wonderful abundant energy that will allow them to take the seed and use it in the way that belongs to them. So isn't that great?
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
That's my pleasure.
Was a wonderful exercise, really, really powerful. I could feel it. And what I love to say now is that during the talk with you, it's not just a talk for me. It's something like it's going deeper and wider and brighter. And I really got in between the sense, yes, I'm as well the galactic being. So just to talk with you is incredible. It's
and I with you, dear one, and I with you, because it's so lovely to acknowledge each other and to realize that here we are, and we're doing this wonderful work, and we're passing it on to everyone so they can do wonderful work by recognizing themselves, by being conscious, and knowing that it's easy to be conscious, and that there's no, it has to be this way, it doesn't have to be that way. It's not about how much you pray or what you eat or what you do or how you meditate. It's not about anything. It's about you being present on this planet. And I am grateful that you are there where you are. We actually, all of us, choose to whom we come in, to our parents. We choose them. We choose the place. We choose the race. We choose the culture. And then we wield it.
Yeah.
We wield it. And you are wielding it in a magnificent way. And so I am very delighted to have had this time with you, Beata, and all the people that are connecting to us.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You gave us such a deep insight in your work and what you are doing. And I'm really honored that you have been with us. Thank you so much, Chris, for spending your time with us.
And I with you, Beata, and all of the people that are connected to you. My blessings and my great love to each and all of you.
Thank you for watching. Click on one of the videos below to continue your journey and tell others about this channel. And please subscribe.